Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Narcissistic. I am your host, Dr. Yaya Marie, and I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to acknowledge all of my iHeartRadio and Apple Podcast listeners. Thank you. And to all my YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok family, hello and welcome. I'm so happy to be back here with you on another Wednesday. I hope this week has been fabulous. It has been amazing because guess what? I have released finally the book, the book, the book. It is called When Satan Plays Matchmaker, exploring the spiritual side of narcissism. And it was already released, but I was waiting for Audible, and I decided that Audible is just taking entirely too long with their production because if you're like me, I like to listen to my books, but you're on the go and everything like that. But behind the scenes, I didn't know it took that long. So if you would like to order, they are available. When Satan Meets Matchmaker is available on Amazon and Kindle. All right. So with that being said, today we are going to talk about the aging narcissist. The aging narcissist. I mean, what happens to them when they get older? Does it get better? Does it get worse? Do they grow out of it? If you have a kid or a little toddler or a baby, or not necessarily a baby, but just a child that is, they have some questionable little quirks about them. Do they grow out of it? What happens as they age? So today, we are going to talk about how the narcissist ages, what happens when they grow old. Now, as most people get older, they feel wiser. They feel they have so much life experience, and they're able to teach another generation. With the narcissist, it's not necessarily like that. When you're thinking about a narcissist, someone who needs constant admiration, constant validation, constant making them feel important. You're thinking about a narcissist, or you're thinking about a human being that constantly needs your attention. So as they age, that need for that admiration, it doesn't just go away. So most people get older and wiser. I mean, you're full of life experience. The narcissist, not so much. As they grow older, they get more manipulative. When a regular, normal functioning person gets older, they have more wisdom and they have more things to teach the younger generation. When you're thinking about a narcissist, they most likely are jealous of a different generation. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be jealousy toward a younger generation. It could be jealousy and resentment toward another person or a group of peers in that same age bracket. A lot of people don't think about that. So as they get older, they feel more irrelevant. I would say that. So as a narcissist ages, they do feel less important. Of course, it's natural to feel like you're not needed as much as you get older, because of course you have little children that need you most likely when you're in your middle age. But as you get older, they do feel less relevant, not necessarily more or less important. So they feel less relevant. That's why you see a lot of older narcissists dressing younger, trying to get in with the younger crowd, trying to fit in more, trying to be relevant. If they do have channels, podcasts, and things like that, they will speak on topics that they're not even interested in, trying to seem more relevant. Also, they may even get surgeries that make them feel younger. They may hang out with a younger crowd. They're trying to attract people that actually make them feel how they would like to portray themselves. Okay, I hope everybody's understanding that. This is definitely not the same type of person that is just trying to take care of their body. I mean, you get older, you want to work, you want to get your body right and you want to live longer. Let me add my panel up. Alrighty. Hey, everybody. Demi and Michael. Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
Michael.
how's it going?
Would anybody like to chime in as I take a drink of water?
Well, I guess I can say something because I mean, as I've gotten older and out of the realm of, or in the realm of understanding the narcissistic personality, I have come across female, and I won't say friends, but I've come across females that want to be friends, befriend me. And I pick up on their certain personalities now quickly than I ever had before. Because I'm not a person that goes out and I mean I'm a friendly person, but I don't necessarily go out to look for friends. If I see you enough, I'm going to say hello and greet myself and introduce myself. But I don't necessarily go out of my way to try to meet people. But I do have instances where I've met in just the strangest circumstances where this particular lady I met and she seemed nice, but she ended up telling me about all of her baggage with her husband. So I'm like, well, I don't necessarily want to hear that, because I'm not married and I just want to be friends, just to, have someone to hang out with and talk to, whatever. Um, and go out to lunch with or whatever. But it seems like every time I would say something, she would repeat what I've said days ago. Are you there?
Yes, I just had to take myself off of
Oh,
mute because I didn't
okay.
want to. Like, I listened to one part and I saw it like it was feedback, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, this person is like giving me vibes like they're trying to channel into, and I think you talked about this, how they
Mhm.
sort of piggyback of your lifestyle.
That is 100% correct because they also they mimic you, and
That's how.
it's so yeah. I mean, they will pick up on little traits or like little things that you would say, just things that, let's say for instance, you're from, I don't know, California, and you're at a new area, you're in a new town,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet someone and you live in Alabama. So they wouldn't really necessarily know like something that you would say quirky from California.
Right.
So they will pick up on that and mimic it because the narcissist does not have a personality of their own.
Right.
They don't have any personality. So they
Okay.
kind of, especially in the beginning, they steal your personality.
Mm.
Little things that you would say, little things that you would do, your parenting style, your
Right.
clothing, your dressing, your things that you just little things you don't even think about, oh,
Mhm.
somebody would steal.
Right. Right. This is just simple things, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I thought I was away from the narcissistic male, but I forget that you can meet narcissistic females.
right.
And I'm thinking, that was younger days, but they're existing even in their older years. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about like 60 something years old that I'm
Wow.
with
Okay.
this person and she's telling me her background and everything. And I'm like, okay, and I give people a benefit. And that's what we talked about before. Give people the benefit of the doubt.
That is correct.
And then here I am again, where I'm kind of like channeling this sort of attitude, if you will, for lack of better
Wow.
words, where she gets in a mood where we're supposed to go hang out to a movie or nothing or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then it'll be like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then I mean, I've done it too, and I'm a single person. I love being single.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there's a point where I'm going to meet someone, but I'm at this point in my life, I'm happy being single and
Right. I mean, as you should. I mean, I feel like the right person comes along when you're happy being content.
Oh yes, and I love that. I love just being able to get up and go and do whatever, or not even going at all. So I did that a couple of times with her. Like, oh, you know, I thought I was going to be able to go somewhere with you and hang, but no, I don't. But then fast forward the next week, she said the same thing to me that I said to her the week before.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? That is crazy. I mean, I don't mean to say crazy, but you know,
I feel like this person is like mimicking me.
Mimicking, yeah.
It just felt weird.
So it was the same thing as you said.
It was almost the same exact words.
Was it the same scenario, or maybe it was
same scenario?
Oh my!
We were supposed to meet somewhere, and I said, oh, you know, I thought I'd be able to go, but I'm tired now. I've ran all these errands, and then in that same text, the same words, I did all these errands. I can't go because I'm tired. Like, it was just the same thing.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, and that's something little. I mean,
yeah. And that wasn't one. That was a couple. That was maybe the second time.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Count, but I just like, wait a minute, that happened again.
Wow.
But it's just the whole conversation is kind of gone in another left field. Like, we're not trying to date or anything. Mm-hmm. I'm not on that wavelength.
You know what? A narcissist, even with friendship, they really do feel possessive. More than just a regular, like a friend or best friend. Like, how long have you two known each other?
Maybe like, oh man, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months.
That's what?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 months. Maybe 3 months.
I was going to say 2 or 3 years when you said
exactly. And I feel like I'm tired already in the relationship, and we just been, you know, we'll go out and listen to jazz or whatever. We'll do something like that, and then it'll be, we should do something more, and let me let you meet my friend, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
But I feel like I'm in a triangle of possession. Like, she's trying to possess my time, take me away from what I'm doing, and she knows I'm involved with my grandkids and all this other stuff. Oh, you got to be with them again? You know, like,
it's like that's not a good sign.
Right.
Yeah, that's jealousy right there.
Exactly. I feel like this is what I went through with a male relationship.
With 2 or 3 months? Oh my goodness.
This is exactly how I feel like I'm in a relationship with a man, like a narcissist.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
And I laugh at it, but I was kind of like taken aback. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm like.
I just want a friend girl, like, hey, let's go hang out and do this. But it's becoming complicated. Where I feel like, you know, I don't want to hear all this drama that you're going. I have to listen to the drama.
So they want like more of a, you know, how people want an emotional dumping ground.
Right.
They don't really want a friend. They want someone to dump, you know.
That's how I feel. That's how I'm feeling. Like, this is not what I asked for. So I definitely am going to have to cut off there. And I've kind of distanced myself, you know, just in like 1 or 2 things we might kind of, because we're mutually acquainted with what we do. And I don't want to say it on live, but, you know, because somebody might know. At the same time, it's like we do these, we share the same common things together, this particular thing. And I see her going there, but that's the thing. I think that's
so you have like a shared like place you guys meet.
Right, like a shared hobby. So we
gotcha.
That's how I kind of met her. So. And that's
was the friendship different to begin with? Like, when did you notice like things start tipping?
Probably like maybe like 2 weeks or so in, you know, just conversations of me just listening to the drama. And I'm on the phone like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm listening to somebody else's stuff again. You know, they're giving me all their baggage. And I know that's one-sided right there.
Wow, that's so true.
That's one-sided. And you're sitting there like, okay, now how do I handle this? And I'll interject, you know, okay, and try to make light of it. And you know, how are you going to deal with this kind of thing to kind of turn it? And we'll talk about something else, and I'll try to reframe it to go into something else, and we'll go back to her issue. It's like, whoa. And I end up, you know, I'm drained. So
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to feel like when you're talking to someone is, feeling emotionally drained. I feel like that's more of a oh gosh, that's like a vampire that
yeah,
sucks your life. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
it's really, you don't want to feel that way when you're talking to a friend.
No,
It's supposed to be
no.
mutual, and
Yes,
you're hanging
yes.
out and
Like
exchanging
I'm not married.
ideas.
I'm not married. So why are you? I don't want to hear about all that stuff. I
Yeah,
don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about that's going on in your life. I mean, granted, you're going through that. Maybe you need to speak to another married friend. But I'm a single woman. I couldn't give you
right.
if
I don't
I
know.
said
I don't know.
they divorce them.
Yeah,
That's how I would be. But if you're gonna say something to someone that we're not even yoked the same way, I don't think we should be friends anymore.
so is she when you guys when you ladies talk, are y'all just talking about her relationship, or is she trying to get you into like her world?
Well, she talks about the relationship, but she kind of asks for advice. Like
Gotcha.
when
Okay.
you were married, what did you do? I said, well, I can't compare my marriage, my divorced marriage of how many years ago to you're now married the
Well,
third
that's true.
time.
Yeah.
Like this is like her third marriage or fourth,
Oh.
I can't remember. So
Ooh,
there's a
okay.
lot going on.
And you just met each other 2 months ago.
Right.
Okay. Well, hey, I mean,
And so
I
I'm feeling
feel
the narcissism has got, I
yeah,
mean, this lady has, and then when she talks about her kids, it's like there's a lot going on, a lot of dynamics. And the only thing that's common is her with all these circles going around, these spinning circles around her, as if she's the only one in the middle of the spinning circle. So to me, like we talk about narcissism, like, whoa, I forgot that women are narcissists too. I keep forgetting that because
yeah.
it never dawned on me when in my past relationship of, oh man, I can't remember how many years ago that was, but I told you that I never had an opportunity to speak on it. I just had
That's
those
right.
feelings,
And
and I'm
you're
like,
not alone because somebody actually messaged me and they said the last narcissistic relationship that they've been in was 1979.
wow,
And that was before I was born. I mean, I don't, I was like, whoa. And
yes,
then they had the actual like 1979, through whatever, another 80 something.
wow,
And I was like, wow. And they remembered the
yeah,
trauma
yes,
because it's
yes.
traumatic.
Yes, I couldn't remember. I was like, how long ago? I had to think about how long ago it was that I was out of that relationship because I still, when you came on the panel and you start talking about this, like I feel like it kind of just happened.
Yeah.
Because I was holding on subconsciously to those feelings and never voiced it. And now I see people that I meet with these same traits. This
That's
person
right.
dated for those years.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have dated the guy for like 4 years. He would say 4, I say 3.
Yeah.
So we know what that's from.
That lion spirit.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's crazy because you usually don't really. I mean, we talk about women a lot, and I would say yes, it is. Of course, it is. Narcissism is common in men,
Right.
but narcissism in women is up there.
You think they're handling it from the men, or where do they get the behavior from? I mean, is it something that they're getting it from the? Well, we don't want to go there, but
yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, it really is. It's questionable.
It's a dynamic that can hinder on their upbringing, their
a lot. I mean,
personality. And these psychiatrists talk about, nature versus nurture.
Yeah, they really say it's deep rooted shame and things like that. But I feel like it's just more to it. A lot of people do not feel like that. Now, I'm going to bring Michael to talk, and then I'm going to bring up. We have someone new, Annie. I'm going to add her, Annie, to the stream. So, Michael, what do you think on the topic? While I add on Annie.
Well, I definitely feel like narcissism is something that is experienced in both men and women, and demise this friendship definitely seems something to start like setting a boundary with.
For sure.
It seems like it's draining you, and it's gossip is like pervasive. You
Right.
know, it like people really should like when they're venting, it should go to some place like a therapist. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like there's a time and a place to like to speak about this stuff, and it when it's all the time, it is draining, and it
Yes.
takes a huge toll on the relationship. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, and you know, bashing too. You know, so like you know, if the foundation of the relationship is her like blaming her husband for everything that's wrong with her world,
Right.
right, then you know that that person's not self-aware enough to like realize like what's going on with them, you
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. They
So
need couples therapy, or they need to hash it out on another avenue besides she going out and telling all the business. And I'm sure he has no knowledge of what's going on.
And then on top of that, who wants, I mean, if you're friends, I would kind of, I mean, I would say a little bit, but I would kind of feel bad just talking
Yeah.
about, like, I mean, I'm not married, but I would kind of feel bad talking about my husband to somebody. Like,
Right.
I kind of feel a little way.
I'm
Like,
the only one that she talks to him about, because there's another
oh,
friend that goes, he wouldn't want to do this. And when we were somewhere, and then she was like, nope.
yeah.
Like everybody kind of knows what's
Oh,
happening. The people that I've met that know her, they bring up him too. Like, whoa. And I don't know if that's a part. I guess you could say that's a part of the narcissist, because she tries to make it all about her and her feeling bad about the relationship when we don't know the whole dynamic of it. There's
yeah.
three sides to the story, so you're telling just your
Well,
side.
that's a part of the smear campaign.
There it is. There
She
it is.
could be doing or smearing his name to
Right.
you and your friends for whatever reason. I mean,
Right.
just to do it, because if you only known her 2 months, maybe she knew the other people longer. I mean,
Yes,
I
I
don't
think
know.
so. I think so. I'm pretty sure she has.
Mm,
there's a Native American tradition from the Navajo, and they say that you never speak about somebody
Mm,
unless that person is there
present,
to speak for
exactly.
themselves. You know
That's
what I mean?
I believe that
Um,
in the African American culture too. Don't say anything about someone if they're not in your presence. Don't
and
speak a word.
foundationally, like that comes from an idea that like culturally that starts to degrade families and villages.
Right.
You know, because like people need to be able to like to talk about things in truth. You know.
Right. Right. Exactly.
what? Oh, Annie, how are you? We have a new speaker. Annie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear?
Hi, how are
Hi,
you? I'm
Amy.
so happy to have you here. You are new on the panel, and thank you so much for tuning in to Narcissistic. Today, we are talking about the aging narcissist, and we're, I believe, Demi said that the narcissist in her community is a friend. Do you have any experience with a narcissist who is a like an older narcissist or aging one?
Um, I would say older, but I wouldn't necessarily say aging, but
Okay.
older.
Uh-huh.
And I probably, if I sat down and thought about it, I have more experiences with narcissists, but the main one and one that I know for sure would be my ex and
Gotcha.
or ex-husband. Yes.
Hmm.
Um,
Did he
and
actually try to pull you into more of like his circle with the, trying? Because one of the points that I was going to make next was how the aging narcissist, when they see that they're getting older, they want to kind of find a supply or a person to kind of settle down and kind of lock more of that in so they could take care, so the supply could take care of them as they age.
yes, because after we separated about 2 years ago, he came back around because he needs knee surgery and he's a very tall man. So they
Wow.
usually have knee problems anyway. He's like 6'7".
Okay.
So now he has knee issues. And so he really needs someone to try, like help him you
Wow.
and he wants to be, you know, family, and of course it's the honeymoon stage
That's
that he's
right.
trying to start up.
Trying to
But
reel you back in, reel you
yeah,
in.
but I didn't want it because I hadn't gathered enough information from the first time around that I didn't want to participate in it. And
That's great.
the devaluing stage was so much for me that I didn't want to participate in anything with him again.
Well, that's awesome. Good. Because once they see that you're going to pedal on that bike, they're going to do the best that you just keep on pedaling. They don't want you off that bike.
Right.
They just want to keep you on it and just by any means necessary. I mean, they'll devalue you because this is a cycle, but they'll reel you back in with that love bomb, with those promises, with this, with I'm going to do that, just future faking. And they have no intentions on doing this at all.
Yeah.
So that aging narcissist, I really feel people don't understand the magnitude of what they really are capable of.
No, because um this the second time around it was more of um he would come through with some of the promises. Like if it were, let's just say, if he said, I want to support you in your business, so I'm going to send you 500. He would have actually sent it, where before he would not. But this time he would, because he knew he had to go a little. He had to do more.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He had
But
to lock that in, lock it in.
mhm,
He
mhm.
saw you as getting smarter.
Yeah, so he was like, I know I have to do more this time around, but he got a little anxious. Not that I was going to fall for it, but he got anxious and start talking and using we and future things and things about us living together and being together. I just, no.
Mm.
And never an apology for the things that he had did and said. And no accountability. And I would notice if I brought that up, he would he would get angry, but then he would try to reel that back in. But
Mm.
it's like, okay, I see you, and I see all that is still there.
Wow.
Yeah, they can't when they show that mask, it's okay. So during that future faking, that first love bomb, that's the longest time that they will wear that mask.
Mm.
Every
Mhm.
single time you take them back,
Mm.
that mask, I mean, it gets shorter. The length of that mask gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
Mhm.
And a lot of them, another point, the aging narcissists, they groom. Remember, as stated in the beginning, they actually have a problem with getting older. Most people gain wisdom, and we want to reach back and teach people and things like that. But with that aging narcissist, they actually have a problem. Some people may get a little midlife crisis, but
Mhm.
it's deeper than that.
Mm.
So that aging narcissist will groom a younger person into a relationship.
Wow.
And here's this, they will have children with that younger person.
Wow.
Mhm.
And people are like, why is this happening? Why this old lady having children with this young boy, or this old man living, messing with this, a younger, a 21-year-old. We ain't gonna say younger than that, but
Mhm.
you know what I mean.
Right.
And we're like, why? Because they're trying to recapture that youth in an unhealthy way, not so much as buying a red Corvette. No,
Mm.
they are trying to lock in. They know they're getting older and they need someone to take care of them. Most of the times they have not taken care of them themselves. So they're
Mhm.
trying to take in or get a supply they know will not leave them.
Wow.
So a lot of times you see younger, let's say for instance, I had a neighbor and he had a wife and kid and kids and everything like that. They're in around the same age and they divorced. He divorced the wife and married a very younger, I
Mm.
mean 20, 25 years old younger than him. had a whole new family.
Wow. So this is what's
Had-
happening.
yeah. And had children with the younger woman. And I'm not talking about just one or they in love and this. No, had multiple children.
Wow.
So these children that he had with the second family, they're going to grow up. And
Mhm.
who are they going to take care of? Their father.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So the narcissist knows that they don't grow old in a healthy way. They don't do that.
So
Anybody would like to chime in?
yes, I. So the second time around that he called me, he didn't know that I had had a conversation already with the woman that he cheated on me with.
Wow.
He knew the first conversation that we had, but he didn't know the second conversation that we had.
Hmm.
So when he called me, he's telling me about uh some property that he acquired, and he's telling me how he acquired it was because his brother did some illegal scamming, and he gave the money to his sister, and the sister she bought land in a business, and she put it in his name. So he said the brother and the sister got caught because somebody reported them,
Ooh.
and they don't know who reported them or whatever. But the lady that he cheated on me with told me he did it.
Mm.
So I didn't run the story past him or call
Right.
him or anything like that. She just told it to me and I just left it alone. And
Uh,
then he calls me and he tells me the same story, but that somebody reported them. So now he's left with the money and the property.
Wow.
wow. So he swindled somebody.
His brother and sister.
That's a
Mm.
doggone shame.
Mm. 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 Mm.
And
The
that's his
age.
own family, his blood family.
Yes.
Oh yeah. They don't care.
But he doesn't care because he had stolen money from his mother.
Wow.
And when we were together, he tried to steal my house.
Wow.
Didn't I say what when I don't know when that was. I don't know what happened, but I made a video. Um I was saying something about the narcissist isn't satisfied
Right.
unless they take it all.
Yeah.
And it could be something petty as like loose change,
Mhm. Yep. I remember you
or
did a video on that.
right, or it could be something like a deed to a house.
Yeah. Yeah. They really are. They try to just suck you dry, make you feel bad, make you feel horrible. They in your your worst time, they're there to just take whatever it is from you.
That is horrible. Now we are okay. So Michael, you're the only male on here. Do you have any
No,
like
no pressure, right?
I'm like, you've been in the wings, just
does that I mean because how do you feel about that? Like do you experience that with
not that you're
women?
a narcissist, Mike.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
how do you
I,
feel about like do you experience that with women? Like the woman narcissist?
I mean, I see both sides of this, right? Because I've experienced both, and I think that the way that the manipulation and
Yeah.
deception is played is different.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
I think that a woman can be a little more subtle and calculating when she's a narcissist, and I
Very
think a man is just kind of trips over his own ego sometimes.
mhm.
You know, like this gentleman that you're dealing with, Annie. I mean, that's just too sad to betray your family um, over land. You know,
Yeah. Because I mean
I
people
can't
want
even
to take.
imagine that. I
Jeez.
mean, you know, I was actually just thinking about Ananias and Sapphira in Acts. You know, they lied over the land deal.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, I think that the hardest part about this for me to like really grapple with is like, let's say like you have good intentions and you're a good person. It's so hard to navigate the dating world.
Oh yeah.
As a good person, you come with like a lot of self-esteem, sometimes low confidence, you're trying to to get in and to make a connection. And you find that people that have like these big egos, these narcissists, are the ones that are so quick and easy to get in, and it's because they don't actually care about the person.
That's right.
And it's just, it seems to be like such a backwards law, and it's like, it's just too sad, Demi, that and Annie, that you guys are both experiencing this in different ways. Demi with a friend, and Annie with this guy. And I just like, I know someone, a friend, and their husband says that they work and does not work. And she was making six figures, and he would do everything with the money, and he would do the tax returns, and she never knew what was going on with the money. And she's in a position now where she doesn't have a job, and he's not out getting one. He's expecting her to land her next six-figure job, and their relationship continues, and I think that's the hard thing for me to understand is like, how does a person navigate this and find someone when you wear your heart on your sleeve?
That's so true, because one thing I always say is you have to think with your brain and not your heart, because when you're thinking about your heart, you want to believe that people are good. You want to believe people have your best interests. You want to believe that, we're not evil. Nobody's really evil. Basically, you want to believe that everyone you meet is like you. Yeah. And you're forgetting that there is evil in this world right now. And people target people. People go after people. We have crime. We have police officers. We have, things, in place. We have the law. We have the court system. We have things in place because things go awry. So when we're dating and we're trying to get to know people, let's not think with our heart, and let's think with logic, which is our brain. Let's turn the heart off. And that's another way we can stop or combat that future faking. Because a lot of times in that stage, we're dealing with people who future fake us, and they don't even have what they're promising. So how can they give it to us?
Even at their old age.
That this is correct. Even with their age, because we are talking about the aging narcissist, and it goes up to when do people start dating? 15 all the way up to 70 when you're aging?
Oh, I don't want to be dating a 70. No. I'm done.
Yeah.
If I don't see you right about now, you're not going to be seeing me, Buster.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You know what? It's just like
I just can't see myself dating at 70.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I'm just thinking. I mean, I don't.
I can't. Well, they have a new show coming out. What is that? The Bachelor, the Golden Bachelors?
Ooh, please don't let me be on that.
I don't even want to see that.
I have no interest in watching that at all. Like, no thanks.
So will they be fighting over like?
Right. Can you imagine your grandmother?
Please do not show them kissing. Oh my gosh.
They gotta be the younger age grandparents. Like the 50s, 60s. Can't be the 70s, 80s up there.
I don't know.
I don't want to see any of that up there, because if it's on TV, it has to be what I call the sideshow, which is foolery.
Right.
For no seriously.
We probably get to see some aging narcissists on there for real too.
You know it. Oh goodness. But okay, let me backtrack. Okay, so wait, Annie, you talked about the land. Now, you also, Michael, you mentioned the in Acts.
Mm-hmm.
Say that one more time, that part in Acts. Say it one more time again, please.
So yeah, Ananias and Sapphira, they lie about a land deal.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm trying to remember like the rest of the story, but I know that like because they lied and they withheld, they lost everything.
Yeah.
That reminded me of something because remember when we did about or talk about Jezebel, a lot of people associate Jezebel with just women, and Jezebel can be that spirit of spirit doesn't have a gender. That's a spirit. It could be
Right.
man or woman. So we're talking about, remember Nate, okay, King Ahab, which was Jezebel's husband, wanted Naboth's vineyard. He wanted that land. So he approached Naboth and said, okay, I will buy this from you. Naboth didn't sell it to him because that was his lineage. So it was passed down in his genealogy. So he wasn't going to sell his like a family house or whatever to somebody. Now, Jezebel, his wife, Ahab's wife, she manipulated things and said, okay, well, let's falsely accuse Naboth since he don't want to sell his land. Let's say that, let's accuse him of something so the people could stone him to death. He was publicly stoned because Jezebel lied on him. Mm-hmm. After he was stoned, that's when King Ahab could take his land.
Right.
So that's what when you said that, like I that remembered, it came to my remembrance because that land, like that's like such a big thing, back then, but you don't know what spirit people are operating in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then also when we're talking about the aging narcissist, they always, most likely, I won't say always, but I would say 98%. They have a woe is me kind of view on life. Meaning, to have pity on me. For example, they may have been good at playing football, baseball, soccer, whatever. And they may say to you, oh, well, I was the best one back in the day and I did this back then and then whatever. But no one saw me. No one really paid attention. No one gave me that break. They may say that. Mm-hmm. And that's typical of an aging narcissist.
Yeah.
They will make excuses of what happened before. Yeah. They won't tell the whole story, but they will really make that excuse and they will really play a victim, of course.
Yeah.
When it comes to them aging and what they did before. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, like I've seen that, like, in both men and women that are older. I mean, the most miserable people as they age are the people who are holding on to all their life's regrets and to that bygone story. And really and truthfully, it becomes something that they use to smother other people. Or, if someone is actually experiencing real love, they'll do something to create some kind of drama to prevent that relationship from forging. Mm-hmm. And like thinking about like what you said about the Jezebel spirit, like I think about Potter's wife too, with Joseph accusing him of like adultery.
That's right.
He was trying to do the right thing, and I think that becomes like a man's like Achilles heel is trying to do something right for someone else, when I think the thing that is the most important thing to remember is always to do something right by yourself. And that doesn't mean to like be like self-centered, but following your own moral values and compass, like as you're navigating this. And I hear what you're saying about like following your mind instead of your heart. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a thing that happens like where trust is something that comes hard after something like this.
Oh, yes. Definitely. Ooh, yeah.
And I mean, a relationship is solely founded on trust.
Yeah.
And so there has to be some kind of like way to like transmute that. I often think prayer might be the best like avenue. Like you meet somebody and then you pray for the truth to be revealed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I won't say that.
Pray for exposure.
Yeah. I was going to say that was the issue with my ex, was that he was, he played basketball, and it was the story of how, he would have made pro,
Wow.
but he wound up getting someone pregnant and he had to do the right thing. So it was the woman's fault.
Wow.
And he would always, like bring the Bible in and manipulate. So it was like, and so then the woman is always the downfall of man, and, he would always try to use Jezebel, but more like as in a prostitute type of way or whore. And I was like, Jezebel, there's, it was more of power and
Mm-hmm.
control. She wanted power.
Yeah.
I said, so I would think that Jezebel is more of a, a power seeking, a control seeking issue. And he would say things like, you would think that.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, girl,
And
what?
and so it would like, so it started with little things like that. That's how it
mm,
starts flipping, with little
Now,
mm.
things
was
like
he
that.
like? Did he read, or like, did he just? Was that something where he just was just thought and just said,
About Jezebel being
yeah? Like, how would he come from a? How would he think that?
um I realized I didn't know what was going on in that mind of his
Yeah,
because it was
you're right.
manipulation.
Yeah.
So one day he could say something, and I might be thinking, but that's just what I said, a couple of
Yeah,
days ago.
yeah.
And so it would shift into, I got to a place where I was almost scared to just talk because
Mm,
I didn't know
Hello.
h-
yeah.
what his mood was going to be that day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So I was just like, well, let me just try pleasing and soothing,
That's right.
There
because
we go.
and
Yeah.
and then pleasing and soothing became irritating,
Mm.
to like, I didn't say I need my back rub, or what are you doing? Or so now I'm nervous to touch you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm nervous to
Thing is,
talk. I'm nervous to
yeah,
touch you.
walking on
I
eggshells.
Yeah. And it's just, so I become uncomfortable. I see people treat me differently. I don't know why,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
he's already talked about me in a negative way to all these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know any of that.
Exactly. That's
Now, Annie is new here. Isn't that ironic? I mean, we've been doing these lives for the past however many Wednesdays. I mean, it's been more than what,
mm,
4 or 5? I don't know, but like
right.
it's been. I mean, it's been a good amount.
Right.
We talked about a lot of topics. Me, you, Michael, and there we had one person come up here and there, and then we had Diana and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that everyone that comes up here
Yeah.
has the
Yeah.
same experience? Could
Right.
we be dealing with the same spirit?
Mm.
What do y'all think about that?
I think it is. I think it's the same spirit. And I definitely, um, it has left me in a place of, I just want to piggyback on something that the man in the chat said about trust, because I don't want him to continue to steal from my future.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
feel like he's stolen enough and it chipped
Yes.
away at me, and I'm trying to build that back.
Yes.
But I do see where it's hard for me at times, because I've been told from maybe 2 or 3 people that I've had, males that I've had conversations with, is that um I need to express myself to them better.
Hmm. Whoa.
You need to tell your business more so they can know how to manipulate you.
It's not telling my business. It's expressing things that I don't like,
Oh, okay. Okay.
because when I tried to express things in my marriage that I didn't like,
Mm.
it turned so ugly
Oh,
that I
wow.
wanted to find ways to avoid that.
Mm.
Huh.
Okay.
Now,
So
Michael,
What's
what do you think about that coming from like a
oh
male
man.
point of view?
Well, I think that like boundaries are so important and
Oh,
healthy boundaries are so important. And like I think that like things are really starting to get on even ground when no one in the relationship is really saying what they truly feel or believe.
mm-hmm.
And that's when things start becoming rocky. But like I think that the most important thing for you to identify is as soon as like you're in a position where like things aren't safe or not comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for you to start figuring out a way to exit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think
Somebody
that's
needed
just so
to hear that.
important because
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Somebody needed to hear that. It may not be anyone on this panel, but
Yeah.
somebody
That's
messaged
large.
me. I'm like, come on, you got to go. But I can't be the one to say it because a lot
Mhm.
of women don't listen to other women. They will listen to a man.
But
And that's a large part of our problem because we want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like we
That's true.
keep doing that. Like I'm with my friend, like, okay, maybe this is, but now we're talking about on the panel, the aging person that, and then here I am as an individual with this, what did we say, a bullet, a target of narcissism that targets us. I feel like I'm being targeted again, and I haven't been in a relationship, male or female friends, in a while. Like I've engrossed myself with
Hmm.
my grandkids and being just happy of being alone and doing what I want to do. As
Uh-huh.
soon as I get a friend, here we go again.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
well,
So
there's a sense of desperation that happens in the narcissist as they get older. Is what it that seems like to be the common thread.
that's
Like
right.
the tactics become like more forceful.
That's
Yes,
right.
The intentions become more dramatic.
yes, yes.
Um,
Yeah,
and
that's
I think that like
yeah.
one of the things that Annie, I think that is important is like to approach these things not being passive. I mean, just hearing you speak, I can tell that you're a very like thoughtful person,
Hmm.
and you're not the type of person to shout or raise your voice, and that's the type of person that a narcissist
Oh
will
yeah,
really like bring to the playground.
yeah.
Um,
She did say she doesn't really. She took. Someone said
but
that
the thing is that I I was a domestic violence counselor, so I was taught
Mm,
patterns of the honeymoon stage,
wow,
and then the where they start to pick, and then the blow up,
wow.
the fallout, and then you're back to the honeymoon stage.
Mm,
So
Mhm.
even though um I could see all this and I could talk to someone else about this, I'm not in love with those people.
Mhm.
So this is where you said the you have to listen to your mind and not your heart, because
Mhm.
my heart felt like, from the stories and everything through the
That's
love
right.
bombing stage that was shared, I want to help you.
That's
My
right.
heart
Yeah.
wants to help you.
mm,
But that person never came into the situation for the same reasons that I did.
yeah.
That's right.
But I
And you have
can't
to
know
think
this.
about it. That love bomb, this is how they reel you in. That's why even last show, and I'll just say this again. I'm sorry if I always say it, but the love bomb is one of the things I cannot stand the most
Mm-hmm.
because it is a manipulation tactic. It is a spirit. When you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about Satan, he came to you as an angel of light.
Mm,
Right.
You think the narcissist is going to come to you and just be, just thuggish or saying things nasty things to you? No,
mm.
they're going to come to you as an angel of light. They're going to come
Mm-hmm.
to you presenting themselves
As
as
you,
a perfect person.
yeah.
So
Someone
this
you want.
right, and this is how you can really with a really trained eye. It kind of it takes a while to get to this point, but
Yeah.
when you feel or you actually see that they're love bombing you,
Mm-hmm.
aka they're telling you things very quickly. They love you quickly. Come meet
Mm,
my mother quickly.
mm.
Come do this quickly.
Yes.
When you see that pattern,
Wow.
you get away, run,
Yeah.
forest, run at that point.
Yeah. Even with the female. I mean, even if
Yes,
with the
that's what
female
male
friend.
and female. I'm
Female
going
friend.
both with yeah,
Yeah.
male and
She
female.
said we
Yes.
should do more things together for fun. We should do more things together. That was one of the comments with this quote unquote friend.
Hmm.
No, I'm not feeling that. We should do more fun things together. Why?
And she's married, you say.
Right. Do more fun things with your husband.
I mean, if I didn't know the situation, maybe I'm thinking maybe she want friends.
Right, but when I think about the whole dynamic of
Yeah,
it,
when you told us the other side,
there's
you know,
the
like
other
what?
stuff that
Yeah,
into play. Like, wait a minute,
yeah.
I'm not thinking this is fun. You're telling me all your business on the negative side. What's fun about more
And
fun?
the mimicking your
Right,
things you say, and you know the shots at you and things like or
right.
whatever. Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's not fun.
it's not fun.
Huh.
And when they take shots, the
Yeah,
shots just get
worse.
worse. They
Yep,
escalate.
yep. That's exactly what's happening.
They
Huh.
take you off by the knees, you know, like
Oh yeah.
it's like they have a dossier of every single thing that has ever happened, and they
Mm-hmm.
just like they throw it against you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Oh, you
Yeah.
got to go with your grandkids. You're not available this weekend. You got to go with your grandkids. Yes, I
So
do.
does she have children or grandchildren
They're
or?
not
I mean,
around her. They're not
oh, I
around
wonder why.
in the immediate area. They're away in other states.
Oh.
And they function like the police. Whatever you say can
Mm-hmm.
and will be held against
That's
you.
right. That's so
That's
true.
so true.
That's so true. They say something you've forgotten all about it. Then it comes up
Yes.
again, another conversation. What?
Mm-hmm.
It catches you off guard
Yeah.
Hmm.
And guess what? It gets worse as they age.
as they age.
So, I mean, I remember I was, my friend, she is a nurse and she's dealing with a person that is in like a hospice. He's not necessarily hospice, but he's getting up there. She had to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes derogatory, statements toward her and, just is really nasty toward her.
Wow.
And I remember she told me that the person's family doesn't know why he's acting like that because he never was like that.
Oh,
So I didn't say nothing because I don't want people to think I'm strange.
Hmm.
But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's the demons. They coming out as soon as he
Hmm.
that's his narcissistic personality, demonic self coming out.
is coming full circle. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you telling this? Mind you, she's in her early 30s. He is in his 80s,
Wow.
and he's
That was her
making
lover.
comments about her body.
What?
Yeah,
That was
she's
her
a nurse.
lover. Well, that's
No,
her.
that's the nurse.
Oh, she the nurse. Okay, I got it. Okay. Wow. That's crazy.
So also another point is they're as they age, they may have an inflated
Mm.
sense of self. So you may see a narcissist as they're aging, a woman, let's say for instance, a woman who's an older lady,
Mm-hmm.
and she may have an inflated
Mm.
personality, an inflated.
Oh yeah.
Of course, everybody has a good self-esteem about them,
Hmm.
Right.
but if it's inflated,
Mm.
it's more to it.
Right.
And that was the last one that I wanted to point out. What do you think about that?
I already disclosed all of that.
Oh yeah, you know it, Demi. What about you, Michael? Have you witnessed that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, especially like as people get older, do you see like the true version of themselves?
Mm.
You know, it's like at that point, like, there's no other reason to have a mask. You
Yeah.
know,
That's
like,
right.
who the person is who they are, and it's I don't know. It's just so sad because it's the stories that people hold on to too. You know, it's like it's how they construct their lives and their worldview too. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a very limited view, and I think that that the idea of the narcissist playing a victim is definitely part of it. You know, it's a huge part of it. You know, um,
Definitely.
and I just feel like Demi, I hope that like you're able to like build a better boundary with this woman and
Oh
like
yeah.
attract friends that like want to just have fun and
Right.
not gab about like the bad things in their lives
Yeah.
and Annie, like oh my goodness, like I just like my heart goes out to you, and I hope that like you can find someone else. It's like there's a phrase for what he's doing too. Like there's the ghosting obviously is when somebody like ignores you, but I've heard it's like the new phrase, it's being zombied, where
Yeah.
like the person comes back from the dead, and
Life.
like
Yeah.
like
Zombie,
three,
okay.
3 months later, a year later, they're
That's
back
right.
like it was exactly like it was before.
Yeah.
Well,
So hopefully, like there's no other zombies,
no,
come.
Got a
I
new
changed my
phrase.
number and he can't have it. But one of the things that, that he would do, he would say, it would go from like, oh, have pity on me to inflated ego. And it could go from that for like in seconds.
Wow.
And
Oh
he
my.
would tell me, if you leave me, who else are you going to get that looks good like me and has a talent like me? Who else are you going to get? As a
Yeah.
man, I can make babies until I'm 90 years old. What can
Not
you
with those
do as a
bad
woman?
knees, you can't.
And right. And then he would say, and I can get a woman, next week. Well, it was true. He already had 2 more.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, goodness gracious. Okay, baddies.
He always has. He's a good looking man, and he always kept a supply.
Oh,
Wow.
goodness gracious.
There's that inflated. Um,
And then the other women, they were, for lack of a better word, we'll just say side chicks right now. They would attack me.
So
What?
they knew about you, but you didn't necessarily know
Uh-huh.
about
oh
them.
yeah,
I didn't know
that's what they
about
do.
them.
Wow.
That's what they do. Yeah.
Mhm. The one that I found out about told me about the other one.
Wow.
Oh my god. What?
You just
Mhm.
really had it going on. All the shelf.
I'm
You was on the
curious.
shelf.
Can you what
Annie was on the shelf. She was the one on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Were
he
you?
had been with that one for 10 years prior to
Oh
me.
wow.
it,
Wow. Wow. He's like the epitome of a narcissist.
he
Mhm.
needs to
Oh my
He had
goodness.
this
um
woman sleeping on the floor of a barber shop while he lived in an
ooh,
apartment.
shush.
And she did it with her 2-year-old son and slept in there because she wanted to be with her. And he
Oh,
had her feeling that she wasn't worthy of anything. And
yeah,
I'm
you know
asking
what? They
her,
tear your self-esteem down. I believe,
Mhm.
yeah, this is what they do. This
Mhm.
is like how you ever saw one of those shows on like Dateline, like ID channel,
Mhm.
and
mhm,
you're wondering how in the world would anybody
yeah,
want to be?
Right.
How do these pimps get women?
There you go.
How do
exactly.
people get in a cult?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's mind control.
Yeah. Worse than
No,
mine. They're
it's
worse than mine.
grooming.
Have you doing some crazy things? Like you just have no idea. You like walking around
But
with no identity. You're
and
taking
then he
everything.
used the Bible against her for control. Um, because it, I mean it's really deep, but it just made her feel like she was a concubine. And I said,
Mhm.
but that we're not in a war or anything like that. And
That's
that
right.
we're not in those times. And, I was trying to, but here I am, you're cheating with my husband.
Mm.
And I'm
And
trying to
wow. Oh
help
my goodness.
you.
Wow.
Oh, listen, you
That's
got a
another
good heart.
show. That's
Bless your heart.
yes. Yes.
As they said,
Until
it's a
I was
bless your
like,
heart.
what am I doing? This is too much. And the next supply was a 19-year-old.
Wow.
And this is the man
And
at
he
the
was an
time.
older gentleman. He was a
Yeah.
man of like he's oh my
At the
goodness.
time, he was like, I think I want to say 45 at the time. And so
All their life.
she was 19.
Wow.
Ooh.
And we used to think it was like, the male, crisis or whatever. But now it's more than that.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
much
at
more
that
than that.
gap. Oh my gosh. That's
That's a huge
predatory. That's predatory.
that is
Mhm.
predatory. It's definitely
But
predatory.
when you think about it, I think all narcissists are predators. That's
That's
just
right.
what
Oh
I believe.
yes.
That's for sure. And that
Definitely.
goes for women and men because
Yes.
Yes.
Women
they
do
all are the same. They
yes,
have
they
a
do.
constant need for admiration. They
Mm,
lack
Yes.
empathy. They can do anything to
right.
you, us.
Hmm.
And I mean, they don't feel anything. in fact, they just keep lying and
Right.
keep
And it
smearing
becomes
our
your
name.
fault. It
That
becomes
is,
your
yes,
fault.
they blame us, and it doesn't matter the scenario. We can have time-stamped dates of things that they've done to us,
Mm.
and they will still blame us.
But then
Mhm.
that goes to show you that as we're growing as older people in wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
they're growing into this narcissistic phase of wanting or needing this admiration. So they go back and find some naivete or someone that just doesn't know.
Validates them. Yeah, that person's
Validate.
validating their youth.
There
Yes.
they go back to searching and finding identity. They live in their life like always on guard, always up, never getting a rest,
Mm-hmm.
trying to find someone to validate them and carry them throughout their lives. And eventually taking care of them when they're sick and ailing, and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
they're being so horribly mean to them for no reason.
That's right.
And it's sad.
And I would like to also say that this is also following the fact that they have unreasonable expectations of others and themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
So they, as they age, they're thinking, okay, well, I can do it. I can do this. I can do that.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
their body, I mean, this is, you can't help aging.
No.
And
Mhm.
it's a blessing to age. I mean, let's
Yeah.
be real. I mean,
Yes.
thank
Yes.
Mhm.
goodness we are all aging. I mean, some people do
Mhm.
not get that luxury. So, I
Right.
mean, when you're feeling like you can do it all at a certain age,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
you can't,
Mm.
Right.
that is unreasonable.
Yeah.
And you can't pass that as having a healthy mindset about
No.
yourself
No.
or your family, because they don't really have empathy, so they don't care about what their family has to go through.
Mm.
It's all about them.
Right.
All
But do
right.
you think it's something that in aging, you know, how I can look back at things that I did in my 20s or in my 30s and I can say um that I didn't have the wisdom and understanding that I have now.
Mm.
If I had the same, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have not have done those things.
Right.
Do you think the narcissist is capable of doing
Nope.
that?
Definitely not.
No way.
Because I'll put it like this. For anyone to correct the behavior, you have to admit or recognize that there's something wrong. The narcissist does not correct their behavior or do any of that. I mean, they're not remorseful or anything, or because they don't have that empathy
No.
to that course correct to say, okay, I need to do it this way instead of that way.
Mm-hmm.
When you're thinking about a narcissist, they're thinking about actually one way or no way, one track, and it's my way, and I don't care about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They don't have that ability to just
To be
think
sorry.
about,
Yeah.
to think about other people and how it may affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
how
do
can
you think
you correct it?
spirit can be removed from them?
Say it again.
Do you think that spirit can be removed from them?
Mm.
I
Not
really don't
Michelle.
know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I honestly, they would have to do it.
If they recognize that behavior.
Exactly, because you got to think about it when you're praying for yourself and your children and your family. I want just your family,
Hmm.
because I don't know if anybody has children, whatever. When you're praying for yourself
Mm.
Right.
and you're praying for your family as you pray,
Mm.
Hmm.
you're praying for them.
Right.
Now,
Right.
is that other party praying for themselves?
Mm. There you
Right.
go.
We will never know that.
Where they tell the truth.
Right. And that's between that person and the Most High. We don't
So
know.
then they can't really connect then to the Most High.
No, they're not there. I don't think.
Yeah, they would have to come with a repentant heart. I mean, when you repent, you say, I'm sorry, and I turn away from it. I mean, they
Mhm.
don't, I mean, a lot of narcissists don't, when they say sorry, do they really mean it? Have you anybody on this channel heard a narcissist say sorry to them?
He apologized to me before he apologized, but he turned around and did everything else again.
There
The
we
That
go.
same
it
thing
wasn't
again.
sincere then. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
And then said that I made him do that.
Oh,
That's how the narcissist apologize. What about you, Michael? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it's been like kind of an underhanded apology,
Yeah.
usually where like, there's like a caveat to it, like, like, I'm sorry, but
Mm-hmm.
this is why this happened,
Yeah,
or
and they would give you a laundry
explanation.
list of the things you need to do
Yes.
to correct behavior so
If you
they
had done
can
this,
act right.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, so they'll give you like a list of things to say, you need to fix this, fix that. And let's say you do. Let's say you're saying, okay, well maybe I am, I question him too much or hurt too much, or
Mm.
maybe he like more, butter on his toast, or
Mm-hmm.
let's say for the men, maybe I did leave the toilet seat up a little bit too much.
Mhm.
Even after you do that, it's not going to satisfy
No,
them.
it'll be
They're never
something.
satisfied.
Oh.
Wow.
And you're right, because he told me if you want this marriage to work, you're gonna have to put my name on your deed.
There we go. I can't
And that was the
Yeah.
last day we were together because
Wow.
see.
my tears dried up and I walked away because I was
Mhm.
like, nope,
Yeah.
then we're not gonna be together.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
I
will
would
come out with a list of things for you to do. I mean,
Yeah.
it is amazing. Mind you, I don't know your story from anyone. How would I even bring that up and you say that?
Yeah.
They act the same
Yeah.
everywhere.
It was like with me. It was like, okay, we argue too much. That's why we're not going to move
See?
forward. Like what? We're not. What are you talking about? We don't even argue. We might have a disagreement and we talk amicably about what I thought. We talk amicably about it. But then it's we argue too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make up things that just are erroneous to the whole situation. Like,
Yeah, that laundry list of things that you need to do.
yes.
It's false. It's smoke and mirrors. Just don't even pay attention to it. It's not real. It is an excuse, and it's just so they remember they have an image to uphold.
Right.
So they have to have something to tell their people or their flying monkeys. They have to have something to say, well, this is why we broke up. This is why I left, because she did or he didn't do that. They have to have something tangible to say that with. And that's all that is.
Yeah, even if with his families or whatever, this is why I can't stay married because they do this to me. This is why I'm in my third marriage because that person didn't do that.
Yeah.
They didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I feel like when they get older, they start dating what they feel is down or beneath them.
of course.
And they're even nastier to that person, but they speak to them like, you should be privileged to be with me because when I was such and such age, I would not even look at someone like you.
Mm. Oh,
So
goodness.
it gets worse. It gets
I
worse.
think it gets worse
Oh yeah.
because they
Yeah.
can't have the same quality of, supply.
Right.
Oh yes, that is definitely for sure.
Oh, yes,
And they
true.
actually they settle for a supply. I mean, they always settle. Don't get it twisted. They settle always. But
Okay.
when they get older, you see
Mm-hmm.
that supply is like someone young, just like I was telling you about the neighbor. Of course, they're gonna be younger, but this one was really, really. I mean, I don't even know if I could say a lot of things here because I don't even want to make it seem like I'm talking about someone. But they
Mm-hmm.
were, I mean, they didn't have custody of their own children, but had children with this older narcissist. And they met in rehab.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
It's
well, yeah. Eventually, that supply that narcissist that I was dealing with, he married a much younger person who had a child by him when we were dating. Oh, I don't want children. We're good. But then I found out he married someone at least 20 years younger than me, and they had a child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, she must have been the one that wanted children. If
Yeah,
he told you he was trying to conform to you, and then he told her something
right,
different, he was trying to
right,
conform.
right.
But those type of people will do what it takes to lock a person in.
That's
And
right.
if that
That's
a
what happened.
baby will a lot of times lock a
That's
woman
my
in.
that had to have happened because she was younger and she was beneath me as far as professionally, and it was, oh, I would
Hmm.
never date that type of person, and I
Uh-huh.
find
Right.
out that he's with that person.
Hmm.
That
Oh
was
wow.
beneath it. Yeah,
What I
but he was
found out is
older.
that
He was much
there's
older then.
when it with the narcissist, there's no one beneath them that they won't date if there's a benefit or something in
Oh
their
yeah, I'm
favor.
sure there was something for sure, even if it was to manipulate, because
Hmm.
he'd already done the run them up with me. I was on to him, so he was done with
They
that.
don't like that.
Yeah,
Once you're on to them, oh, you got to go.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Thank goodness for
Okay,
him
y'all.
removing.
Does anybody have any last closing, any last words or any, not last words, but I hate to say it.
I know, right? About them things with
Right,
narcissists.
not last words. Wait, what are we doing here?
I'm going to say next Wednesday, so
Right, I mean, before we close,
this is good.
anything or so? Let me just before anybody says anything, let me just give me another little plug, shameless plug. My
Yeah.
book is out today. When Satan Plays Matchmaker,
Mm.
exploring the spiritual side of narcissism.
Yes, I got my copy today.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
I
If you're
got my
listening to
copy
me on
today too.
iHeart, and I don't mean to scream in your ear, but I've just been screaming all day. I'm so sorry.
I have my copy today. I got it today. I'm so happy.
Okay, I will scream and like I've been screaming like half the day. So
I
yeah,
already
bear
read it
with
on Audible. I heard it on Audible already, but I wanted to have a copy for my reference because I make notes and I got to keep this for reference because
me.
these people come into our existence every
Wait, so
day.
what do you think about it?
I love it. I love that it's like a quick, like I won't say quick read, but
Uh-huh.
I like the way that I can handle it in my hands. It's
Okay.
thick, but it's not too thick. And I just, I'm old school. I like to have things in my hand.
Okay.
Younger generations,
Yeah.
they like things on
Yeah,
audio. I
me
have
too.
to have it in my hand, make
Yeah,
notes, because it's mine. I have it referenced
right.
a little place in my home where I have my books. People come over and just, hey, what are you reading? And boom, that's what I like to do. I like it tangible in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the
I
same
get
way,
mine
Demi, and
Friday.
I, I'm the same way, Demi. I picked up a copy today, and I was, I was, I read this at like what they had available on Amazon, like the first like two
Mm,
chapters,
mm,
and it's well written, and
mm.
it's definitely something that like is good for everybody, and I hope the
Yes,
sales pick up for you.
Yeah,
yes.
I was trying, because some of the stuff I said is going to go. I mean, I go into some stuff.
Really,
Level
really
up.
good. I
Yeah, I'm
like
talking
that for
about,
you.
yeah, I list certain spirits and things like that.
Hmm.
And I said, I hope people don't try to look things up for fascination
Right.
and they actually want to
To learn.
know to learn, but not because, of anything bad.
Right, right,
Because
right.
how a lot of people are into witchcraft. A lot of people are into the occult. A lot of people want to know, how do you do this and how do you do that.
Mm,
I don't talk about how of any of that, but they want to know what kind of spirits are operating in narcissism.
mm.
And
Right.
I was kind of, I didn't know if I should talk about it, but I said, yeah, I'm going to,
Yeah.
because no,
No,
I
you
haven't
need to.
heard of it.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
They want to know about it to try to manipulate it,
Yeah.
or?
Yes. To
Mm.
manipulate other people.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately, people are going to do stuff like that. I mean, your
Yeah.
intentions are good. I remember having a book from an ex that was like a book on vampirism. And it
Yeah.
was like the history of vampires. And like one night, I just said to myself, you know what? I don't like this. Psychic vampires, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a little bit new agey, but like I took the book and I brought it outside and I left it on the sidewalk across from my house. And within 10 minutes, it was gone.
Oh,
I believe it.
Wow.
And that was one of the chapters that I was going to include was about like vampire. I touched on it a little bit when I talked about spirit of death, but something about that part with the vampirism.
Yeah.
When I was researching it, and I was like, you know what, I don't even want people to go down this rabbit hole because it was that deep. So I can see why that book was gone, because when you're thinking about that, that's something that's largely trying to be manipulated and into in the States or America. Also with the Marine Kingdom, where you're thinking about Marine Kingdom, that's very huge because you got to think about it. Our bodies are how much percent water? Then we got the world that's how much percent water?
Wow.
60%.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to be marine spirits. And people are going to be interested in it.
Girl, see, I don't even know anything about this. I'm like a Marine spirit.
Yeah.
I went to military.
Oh, yeah.
And then you start talking about water. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm lost.
Yeah. I mean, well, that it's something.
Is that
it's
like the
something for
mermaids?
everybody.
The
Yeah,
mermaids?
it's mermaids and just
Okay.
spirits that come from the sea.
There you go.
And we do have a spirit realm, of course. We have a spirit realm. Just because I know because how you were talking. But we have a spirit realm, and a lot of spirits come from the land, the sea. We have vampire spirits. We have different elements. We call them, or people call them, elementals.
Okay.
And so when you're researching elementals, this is what witches and warlocks they call on, and they use tangible things like effigies or things like that to pull people in.
Wow.
Okay.
So I was I didn't go into it a lot because I know in this book, this is not for people who are it's not for people that know a lot about that. So I just touched on it lightly because I didn't want everyone to try to
That'll be for your next book, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But I love this paperback.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, you guys, I could talk about this all day and night.
Yes.
But as you can see, so I just wanted to say I want to say thank you first and foremost, because today and this whole week has been a very huge day for me. Week for me, and especially today because some people knew about the book, and I was in the process of the last final stages, and I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate everyone on this platform, you calling in and being brave enough to call in, because it's out there. Just come on. We don't bite. We're not.
You don't have to show your face.
Yeah, don't show your face. Make up a name. Yeah, and just come on in and just be with us so we can relate to each other, and we feel like we're not alone. Yeah. We are not alone on this journey, because when we recognize that this problem, like dealing with narcissism, this is not a problem that is just, it's about me. This is a real dynamic problem. This is an international. I have talked to people from literally the UK down to people in India and Africa, South Africa.
Wow.
With the same problem.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is not just us. You didn't do anything wrong. The only thing that we have done was we were being too trusting. We didn't leave when we were supposed to leave. And we loved the wrong person.
Yeah. Now we have the armor. We have the playbook now.
That's right. So let's end this with a quick prayer. I know last time I was a little long. So let's just do a quick one. I promise I'll be fast. Okay. So, Father, in the name of Yahushua Messiah, we come to you thanking you. Thank you for your strength. We come to you in the face of narcissistic abuse. Thank you for guiding us and bringing us all here to navigate through this.
Yes.
Father, grant us the wisdom and recognize the manipulations and tactics used against us. Help us to establish healthy boundaries. Please help us recognize at the very first sign you give us that we need to turn the other direction.
Yes.
And let us know that it's from you, because we know the wiles of the devil. Father, your word declares that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And we, in Isaiah 54:17, we have the power to condemn every evil tongue risen up against us in judgment.
Yes.
Father, right now we condemn every evil tongue directed at us by the narcissists and their minions. And we thank you. Father, your word declares in Joel that you will restore unto us the years the locusts have eaten. Please, Father, we ask that you please restore unto us the time wasted in the wrong relationship, the wrong marriage, the wrong friendship, the wrong everything. Redirect, realign us to our destiny that you have for us.
Yes, right. That's right.
I pray that everyone on this panel and everyone who's listening on the replay get the knowledge. Father, in Proverbs, your word declares, through knowledge will the just be delivered. Through knowledge.
Yes.
So the more we get this knowledge, the more we learn about narcissism. We're not obsessed with it. We want to learn, because through knowledge will the just be delivered. We want to be set free. We don't want to live a life like this. We want life and life more abundantly.
Yes.
Okay, in the name of Yahushua Messiah, or who the world calls Jesus of Nazareth, thank you so much for listening. I am out, and
Amen,
thank you.
sister.
Thank you so much for Michael, Annie, Demi.
Yes.
Thank you, and all the listeners also
Appreciate
on
you.
Apple and iHeartRadio. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Same station, same YouTube. All right, bye.
Bye.
Um,
Bye.